for tuning into this edition of Positively Montana. I'm Hallie Schwinnard. Each week we travel the state looking for stories that inspire, people helping others and doing good in our communities. Let's begin with buffalo, or American bison. They hold cultural, spiritual, and practical significance to tribes. They are viewed as sacred beings and play a role in religious ceremonies. Their meat, a primary food source. The hides used for shelter and clothing, and bones used for tools and weapons. Students at Poplar Middle School are working on a film for the Buffalo Unity Project to teach others about Native American culture, history, and connection to land.
Learning the arts of filmmaking can be a difficult process, but Poplar Middle School students from the Fort Peck Reservation are diving behind the lens, connecting storytelling with their community's culture and experiences.
We kind of just hit the ground running with the cameras, so they basically just start learning on how to work the cameras.
From B-roll to on-camera interviews, the students dove right in, mastering skills in videography and storytelling.
Just like this very basics of shooting video, and they'll go into making a trailer, and then they'll go into making the final cut for the Buffalo Unity Project.
So what is the Buffalo Unity Project? The students' documentary explains it best.
The Buffalo Unity Project is our opportunity here at Poplar Middle School to focus on the Assiniboine and Sioux culture, as well as implement the Internet for All mandates that are put forth by the state of Montana.
The project began when the Fort Peck tribe donated a buffalo to each school district, allowing the students to harvest the buffalo to learn its significance in Native American culture and how to apply those values of strength, unity, and resourcefulness to their own lives.
Using the buffalo, we were able to connect the Nakota and Dakota people and show the kids the importance of the buffalo to those people.
Why we are still here as a people can be attributed to that buffalo.
This is how Native American people survive, and unless we teach these kids about the buffalo and the importance of the buffalo to their people, they're not going to know it.
The students say that their favorite part of the class is getting involved in nearly all aspects of filmmaking.
I like editing.
My favorite part is probably filming.
Being able to be a part of it.
They're excited about certain things, they're excited about shooting, excited about being around the buffalo and videoing that. It's part of Montana history. It's part of United States history. I mean, it should be covered by every school in America, the importance of the buffalo. The project is just a little piece of trying to give that back to the students.
To watch the full documentary, more information can be found on our website. In Great Falls, Brianna Juneau, MTN News.
The Blackfeet Nation has brought us some of Montana's most important historical figures, and that history was on display thanks to some of the nation's youngest learners.
First graders at a Browning Elementary School today took time to highlight their Indigenous heroes.
What inspired you about your person?
I like how he gives me hugs and he's a hard worker. I want to be just like him.
Parents and family gathered together at Bolshoe Elementary in Browning in order to see their children present about their local Indigenous heroes.
So today we had our first Indigenous wax museum, and it consisted of my students highlighting 21 different past and present people from different reservations, mainly Blackfeet.
I like that we get to talk and get to show our words that we've been practicing. My person is Napi.
I think it's really important that our kids have people to look up to be influenced and motivated by Indigenous people. We don't, our kids aren't exposed to that all the time. We're so busy with curriculum, and I'm super thankful for Bolshoe Elementary. We have the opportunity to incorporate our language and our culture, and I'm super glad my kids get that.
The event was the result of another presentation given by the students and the children's reaction to it.
I think it was Native American Month, and we kind of hit it hard at the beginning of the year. I was teaching my kids Star Stories, and I was super impressed with how they could just reiterate these stories and just contain all this information. But then I remembered at this conference, they talked about if kids are interested in what they're learning, they'll remember it and they'll be engaged.
It's all about family and Blackfeet.
Take that leap and teach your kids and expose them to your language, expose them to your culture, and don't underestimate them. These guys are 7 years old and they got up here and were doing public speaking. They remembered everything about their people, and it was just a really good day for them.
In Browning, I'm James Rowland, MTN News.
The creativity of area youth is on display, so much so you may soon be able to see it on Montana's roadways. Students were tasked with designing a plate that best represents Montana in their vision.
The Cascade County Deputy Sheriff Association held a competition for students at all the county schools to design a license plate that represents Montana. The winner's design will be available as a license plate all over the state. Students of all ages at county schools were encouraged to design a new Montana state license plate. The only guidelines were to design something they thought represents Montana.
We saw all sorts of unique designs, a lot of different things about Montana, ranging from wildfire to fishing, to the animals, to the mountains. So we saw a lot of good designs that were submitted.
After receiving around 80 submissions from students throughout the county, the Cascade County Deputy Sheriff Association narrowed the competition down to one winning design from Cascade School senior Nordica Gutsa.
I kind of wanted to do kind of what I thought about whenever I thought about Montana, and that was kind of like nature, obviously. And I included the McDonald Lake, kind of, in a way, and used the mountains that are at Glacier, because Glacier is a big part of Montana. And then I included the grizzly bear because that's our state bear, and a cutthroat trout in the background because that's our state fish, and then the morning cloak butterfly in 3 different phases because that's our state butterfly.
Once the state approves Nordica's design, the license plate will be available throughout Montana. The proceeds from these license plate sales will go back to the Cascade County community.
Proceeds from people buying her license plate design goes into our charity account, and that helps us fund all sorts of different events, Shop with the Sheriff, Fill the Bus event.
I can't believe it. It's crazy to think that it will be on people's cars, and it will be like throughout the state, somewhere in Montana on someone's car.
The design will be available sometime in 2025. In Cascade, Anissa Coomer, MTN News.
He's a rising artist that's always been one of a kind because of all the things he can do so well. He's a multi-talented Billings senior already making waves in the musical world.
The double bass is a beast. 6 feet tall, 25 pounds, ominous tone. In other words, it's exactly what Landon Gannan was looking for.
I remember thinking, that big instrument holds so much power, and also I want to be original and be the one bass player.
Though the story of how he was drawn to it is up for a little debate.
I was teaching orchestra at Highland Elementary School, and he really wanted to play the bass, and I said, well then, why aren't you playing the bass?
I usually tell a different story because I remember her saying, playing bass would be really fun for you, and the next thing I knew, I was playing it.
Whoever started it, Gannan has run with it. He's developed into one of the best young bassists, not just in the state, but the entire region. He recently made the All Northwest Orchestra. He's also, at just 18, already played with the Billings Symphony, next to teacher and principal bassist Rochelle Sitton.
It doesn't happen very often. I mean, I've probably only had one other student in 26 years that has done that.
But that's just part of Gannan's genius. He's also an accomplished electric bassist, playing right now in the pit orchestra for Billings Studio Theater's production of Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat. And we actually first met Ganan last year on drums.
The drums and the bass, they have like a, they're in love with each other, truly.
He gets it for jazz and rock, and then being a drummer. I mean, he's just got everything going for him.
Even the name. Yes, he's that Ganan.
Whenever there's a substitute teacher, they'll read my last name, they'll say Ganan, like the flower store, and they'll say it as a joke because they won't expect the answer to be yes. But I've embraced it, absolutely, being the flower boy.
One of his first jobs was as a flower delivery driver. It's one he'll never forget.
One time, a person said to me, like, you have the best job ever delivering smiles. And I was like, that like changed my perspective.
Do you think about it similarly when we talk about music?
That's a good question. Actually, just now, music is just a very emotional thing. Both playing music and listening to it, you have to be very emotionally available. And I think that's a beautiful thing.
It sure is. Casey Conlon, MTN News.
Still to come on this edition of Positively Montana, a cold plunge helping to connect you with your inner self and nature. Stay with us. Welcome back to Positively Montana. Immersing yourself in freezing cold water, it can improve your mood, reduce stress, anxiety, and depression, even increase your resiliency to stress. It's a health benefit many in Montana are opting to try to improve their overall health.
It's mind over matter. Yeah, famous last words.
Getting punched in the face, you're kind of frantic, trying to get away from it.
AJ Craig is a professional boxer and MMA fighter, meaning he's taken some heavy hits over the last 10 years.
After a couple years, it doesn't hurt to get punched in the head anymore. I love him.
But how do you contend against something that you can't strike back?
I sink in and I tell myself, all right, I'm going to be tough. And as soon as that sentence in my head is done, like it just feels like knives are everywhere.
AJ's one of a handful of people taking part in DeCava House's second ever cold plunge.
I am a business office manager for Northwest Bail Bonds, and I am a waitress at Chinese Grand Garden. I stayed in for 6 minutes.
According to Beverly Riddle, mastering comfort is about you, not the challenge. Something she learned in 6 months of military school.
I remember one of our drill sergeants telling me, just say that you're warm. Just tell yourself you're warm even when you're cold.
Organizer Josiah Richards says he's been jumping into ice water almost every day for the last 3 years. A ritual that's helped him lose 70 pounds.
It's not about being tough and getting in, it's about surrendering and breathing into it.
As the cold collapses down on those who stay submerged for more than 5 minutes, the unexpected hits.
I feel like my shoulders that are touching the air are colder than my body right now.
While some cite increased blood flow, diminishing inflammation, and generally more energy, they're also left with a lesson.
I think strength means to keep going even when you're scared or doubtful. I know I am more than that water.
Marcus Kakova, MTN News.
As Montana ski areas are slowly starting to open, more people are getting in the mood for winter sports. And while skiing is a great way to get out and enjoy what Montana has to offer, at Steed Arena, people are playing a classic wintertime sport while also taking care of their mental and physical health.
Living in Montana, it is no secret that winter sports are loved. Skiing, snowboarding, skating, there are plenty of options to slip and slide into as the snow and ice forms. But one winter sport will make you think, here comes the broom. Every Thursday, around 80 people get together to throw stones and sweep the ice at Steed Arena for Last Chance Curling Club.
It's a boon for everyone in the winter, I think, to just, keep your mind and body engaged, even if it's too cold to go out for your normal hikes.
Ryan Sorensen joined the Last Chance Curling Club to escape the cold of Montana winters.
I was finding that my winters were pretty isolated and just generally low activity.
That is the case for many Montanans. As temperatures dip, things like seasonal affective disorder, or SAD, can rise. The National Institute of Mental Health says it is estimated that millions of Americans experience SAD.
And research suggests that sunlight affects levels of molecules that help maintain normal serotonin levels. But people can combat SAD through community engagement and physical activity, which is where the Last Chance Curling Club comes in.
There's this term, the spirit of curling, and that permeates like everything we do. There's a phrase called broom stacking. It's the beers you go have with your friends afterwards, you know, the fun that surrounds the sport as much as it is actually the sport itself.
I got to try my hand at throwing stones while I was there. The club has fall, winter, and spring sessions with the entire season starting each year at the beginning of October and ending at the end of May. If you are interested in joining the club, the best way to start is by coming to one of their Learn to Curl events.
It can be intimidating to start something new, but everyone here is so friendly that it was just easy to be a part of it right away.
Their next one will be on January 5th from 6 to 8 p.m. and it costs around $10 to attend. Teams of 4 can join the league after paying club dues of $30 per person.
You will not find a better group to be cold with than curlers.
Well, I've got to get back to throwing stones. You can find more ways to get involved by visiting this story on our website. In Helena, I'm Allie Kaiser, MTN News.
Still to come on this edition of Positively Montana, a holiday tradition made even more special for some. Details right after the break. Welcome back to Positively Montana. It may not feel like it outside right now, but Christmas is definitely near. And one true sign, Christmas tree lots are once again popping up all across the region. Picking out that perfect tree is always one of the best traditions. And this season, it's even more special for some volunteers.
A lot of people coming to this Christmas tree lot on Lewis Avenue and 24th Street West for that tree for their celebrations. And for the men working here, they've been through quite a bit. So it's very special for them to be here at this time of year.
Pretty important, you know, everyone wants a good tree. And it's kind of a staple of Christmas, you know, that's what people want. So it's nice to have a good tree.
And that's the reward for the man helping customers with Christmas trees.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Have a great Christmas.
Yeah, you too.
It's poofy and it smells super nice. It smells like pine trees.
Sean Nelson says on this Giving Tuesday, it's as much about him giving as it is for the customers to give while buying trees from the Adult and Youth Challenge, a nonprofit that helps people such as Nelson overcome addiction.
All I cared about is getting high and being a Montana knucklehead.
That was when Nelson was in Cutbank in Missoula. 3 years ago, he came to the Adult Teen Challenge, where he now works to help others overcome addiction.
You need to separate yourself from the world and your old self and your lifestyle that you used to live. Our pledge is to lead the students like Christ-like with compassion, respect, and guidance.
And they try to pass that attitude on to customers.
We started doing a little tradition of getting a real tree every year, so that's what we've been doing for the last 5 years now.
Thank you.
He's a real nice guy, so that was cool.
Sean Nelson says with his wife and daughter, it will be a very exciting Christmas.
I got married to a wonderful woman who loves Jesus August 10th. The lifestyle I was living, I never thought I would have been married. So God blessed that and he made it happen. So yeah, I give all glory and praise to him.
In Billings, David J., MTN News.
Bikers for Kids in Need will be serving more than 400 children in the community this season, but they are seeking Secret Santas to help them reach their goal.
We realize times are tough for everybody, but we also know that what Christmas is all about, and Christmas is about giving.
Pam Howard is the president and founder of Bikers for Kids in Need and said they have been doing the Christmas angel trees for 7 years.
Unfortunately, when we do our tree, most of the kids are asking just for winter gear, warm clothes, hygiene products, you know, not your typical Christmas list that you see from a child.
Howard said they are one of the only programs whose trees serve kids of all ages from 0 to 18 years old.
To know that you're doing something that impacts a youth, because these youth, they'll remember this. They remember that somebody that they don't even know cared that much about them to spend the time to go do it. You know, and you just impacted a youth in your community that doesn't even know you.
They are still needing several Secret Santas to help with the remaining 47 families' tags.
The items that they need are listed on the back. Their sizes are listed on the back, and then you go where you choose to shop for them. You get the stuff, you wrap it. If it takes one box, that's cool. If it takes more than one box, just make sure that you tag it with their name from Santa Claus and you bring it back to either location by December 14th.
There are 2 angel trees. Both are located inside the Holiday Village Mall. One is in the Shields and the other is inside Go Calendar's Toys and Games.
It's just fun in general, just to turn around and take a tag and know that you're doing something special.
In Great Falls, McKenna Dickey, MTN News.
It's been Bozeman's unofficial start to the Christmas season for almost 60 years. The installation of the Christmas spiders in downtown. For one Bozeman family, those spiders have a little more meaning than just the start of the holiday season.
Every year this becomes a really special moment when the Christmas spiders come up and for the public to enjoy this beauty of the holiday season. The green spider is something really special to me and our family. Underneath the green spider is a logo of my niece. She was a cowgirl. She has passed away from cancer. We were really blessed that one of the firefighters put her logo, welded her logo to the bottom of the green spider.
Just kind of a little unicorn, little nugget in there hidden, kind of remind you of her throughout the thing. We redid the tree right after she passed away, so it was fun to put it in there, and it's neat to pull it out and see it every year. So
Sage loved the holiday season, and she loved coming downtown during Christmas stroll and watching all the people downtown, watching Santa come down. She sang in choir for many years, and she was really a true Bozeman girl with a great heart, and again, holidays made her really happy. Bozeman has got the biggest heart, and when we all get together and enjoy the beauty of the holidays, you can feel it, and you can feel it when this green spider goes up.
We hope you enjoyed this edition of Positively Montana. I'm Hallie Schwinnard, and I'll see you right back here next week.